And I mean, a good example is Be Gotta HK. I really enjoyed that show, and it's all about teenage sexuality. The big question is whether that's a sort of whether that is seen as an appropriate use of that or not. I mean, to be fair, the ordinance isn't trying to say, if you mention sex, you must be 18 plus. It's trying to say, okay, don't just be frivolous about it. But again, it's really vague. It'll be very interesting to see where that goes. I mean, I'm kind of surprised, to be honest, that the various manga creators and all these lawyers and so forth immediately leaped on this and were just decrying it, like crazy. When it seems like it's something like, I understand folks being worried, but it just seems like they I don't want to say overreacted, but they really were like, this is Armageddon for the kind of stuff we do, which seemed a little too much for me.
Because they haven't had any problems in a while.
That's a good point.
If you look at it, the last time we've had a problem was probably in 2007, which, by the way, was the highest point of anime we've had in years. 2007 was fantastic. Look at 2008, 2009, 2010. The reason that actually half the animes have, I'm saying this with a slight bit of controversialness, forgive me, haven't been nearly the quality as I think they definitely should be in terms of advancement, is that, they're playing it safe, they've got nothing to do, because there's nothing, there hasn't been a massive original leap to come along. We don't have another Berserk at the moment, apart from the new Berserk, which has been toned down a lot. You have these big things that come out, like Berserk comes up, and then everyone starts going on that, and then all these things happen, and it's like, think of video games, Gears of War, God of War, all that sort of crap comes up. Always 3 words ending with war and GOW. But all of that comes up, and then California, for example, if they're the Tokyo, if games like at the moment were and violence was sexuality, and games were anime, and California's Tokyo, then California leaps on the games that are violent, and then try and pass it everywhere else.
Yeah.
And that worried a lot of developers, because actually, even despite the amount of violence, or in this case now sexuality, that has been in video games, it's suddenly become under scrutiny again, like when it started. And to return to that state of how it started is, the same with almost all industries. And, sometimes that argument of how it started happens again, and what's happened is this has, it's just happened here, and because there's nothing else to leap on,
Yeah. That's true.
Everything else has been unsuccessful. We can't take down all the illegal streams. We can't do all of that. So we leap on the thing that actually affects what we're making. Which, by the way, if we look at the last 3 years, like I've said, not really affected by it anyway, because they're playing it too safe. I want more animes to shake things up again. It's been a depressing 3 years.
They've certainly been playing it safe for a while. We've seen a lot of stuff that's just trying to follow trend, which, granted, it has been normal for anime. One of the interesting things has been how, we saw a big change in things around late 90s, 98, 99, things got really interesting, and then like you say, mid 2000s. But for a lot of anime's history, it was just very, very, executing on cliche, executing on genre.
The last time I saw anything genuinely controversial in anime, it was probably, as I can remember, it was probably the biggest one I remember was 1998 with the whole Cowboy Bebop thing. They tried to get that banned because they worried about some of the scenes. I think the scene they used to make their point was I can't remember what it's called, the theme park scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it was against violence, and it was the theme park scene with that freaky guy, and a very violent and incessantly scary scene. That freaks a lot of people out. And we haven't had anything nearly that bad. Karaoke Kai 5, yes, okay, that brought it back up, and I'm glad that something brought a bit of controversiality to it again. But there's it can easily survive on Japan alone, the whole otakuism thing, you can clearly see that companies do still want that small slice of the Western market. And, you know, because the Japanese have now adjusted to it, it's fair enough. I mean, they're just sort of going with what's happened, and it's just gradually evolving, and now that something's supposedly threatening something, then, I don't know, I mean, I'm lost.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, there's I don't know, maybe anime needs this sort of kick in the butt to move forward, to try to make interesting things with new restrictions. I mean, lest we forget, you know, usually most of the great anime or great artistic stuff of all time were made under great restrictions. So, you know, hopefully this is another example of that. So we'll see. I'm looking through the rest of the story. There's not really anything else worth, you know, talking about. You know, new Haruhi novel.
Yeah. But the problem is they said it will ship worldwide in May. Now, that's great. But here's the thing. Dear people who ship to England, we're only on book 3 at the moment. Speed up. Seriously, I'm not reading 10 books.
I've only read the first novel. I haven't even seen the anime yet.
Oh. God. Don't watch this film then. You need to see 3 episodes to understand it. That's the melancholy.
Yeah, I don't want to watch it anyway. I have to go to bed.
And Bamboo Leaf Rhapsody.
Well, don't worry. You know, it'll be shipped, but won't be translated. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. DIY books saying, I'm liking that. Would you like to read All Quiet on the Western Front? Learn German. Go on.
There we go.
I like that book.
But yeah, I mean, you know, there's the Love Plus Halls ad, the Academy City Maps, Italia iPhone game. I don't know. There's just not much else this week. Yeah, Toy Wars.
Now, Toy Wars in England is called Microvolts. I was in the beta.
Yeah, tell us a bit about that.
Oh, cool.
Okay, it's a very interesting game. I really enjoy it. It's like sort of Team Fortress 2 third person, but not like Team Fortress 2 in a way. It's very hard to describe. It's very fun. However, the beta is incredibly laggy. They really need to sort that out. I did play as Harry. I can tell you now. And recently in the beta, this is the first time I've ever seen someone do a Charlie test. They're going to do a Charlie test. They started an alpha and went to beta, now they're going to do a Charlie. Now, as far as I know, additions they're adding very character-centric things. I'm quite excited because they made all the maps slightly moldable, certain things can be changed. And if you're Harry, you can change them, which is brilliant, I think. It's a lovely little joke. And certain characters can do certain things, like one of them can fly, and they look very, on this little bat thing, looks very much like one of the ones off Guilty Gear.
Can you only play as a girl or a toy?
You can only play as toys, but there are all sorts of different ones, and they're adding new ones constantly. The customization is very ridiculous, but there's like a tin toy, there's a Haruhi model, one that it looks very much like Haruhi, and originally, and when they announced it, I was like the first person to actually reply to them on their Facebook thing, because originally it was a very small project, and I said, wait, you know, is that based off Harry? And they texted me back saying, yeah, we're trying to get the rights, do you want to be in the beta? That was nice, and then everyone else had to email them for the beta, so I got nice, I got privileges. So yeah, I got to see some of their stuff early, and they're making Harry, being able to change the environment and different characters do things. But what's interesting is that it's got a very much a humour about it, and there are some very funny moments. There's a little bit of dialogue sometimes you can get between the people, and
nice.
they've added a few new ones, and one of my favourite ones is and I can't believe they put this in. I was shocked when I heard this one. Someone meleeed me in the back and said, "You're deader than the fan reaction to Endless 8." Wow. That was brilliant. I was like, oh my god, they're responding.
Wow.
And it's like, and I'm guessing that's when they got the rights to say blah, blah. But but no, they've like it started off looking a bit like Haruhi. Now they've made it very, very, very Haruhi.
Gotcha.
Looking since they got the rights for it. Now you said they've licensed all the characters, so I do hope. I mean, because there weren't very many male ones. They said they were adding a few new ones. So I'm guessing that probably means we got Koizumi in there. Because he has the power, so they can use that. It's going to probably be like an extra damage with the red beam or something.
They've only announced Haruhi, Yuki, and Mikuru, but there could be more.
Oh, okay. I sort of know what powers they'll use then.
Yeah, I was thinking Yuki myself. Like, oh, that would be fun.
Yuki would be cool. Oh my god, human Yuki on Disappearance film. I fell in love with her. I like
Human Yuki?
Yeah.
I
won't say anything.
Don't spoil.
It's fine if you know anything about Harry. You might.
Yeah.
You probably know about it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Microvolts. It's very good. It's just the lag is worrying.
Yeah.
Why are there two different names?
Because it's the Korean name Toy Wars.
Oh. No.
But.
Yeah.
No, it's so yeah. If anyone's got it, microvolts. .com. And yeah, I mean, sign up for the beta. It's fun. I'm not sure if it's my computer or not, or if it's just the general servers. I'm presuming it's the servers because my practice on it on the practice maps works absolutely fine. So just if they sort out the servers, it'll be a good game. But the Haruhi lightness is very, very funny to muck around with as well. I've done all sorts of stupid customization to it.
What platforms is it available for?
It's as soon as Yuki comes out, I have a new character to play as. So
what platforms is it available on?
It's on PC. They said they're trying to branch out to Microsoft at the moment, but because of the server issues, Microsoft are currently not exactly too sort of ready to do it on, and because the engine doesn't run on it. But they said that if they switch to the Valve engine, it means that they can distribute the game on Steam, and it also means that they'll happily port it to a 360,
cool.
Possibly on Xbox Live Arcade.
Cool. Well, it sounds like they're certainly pushing forward on multiple fronts. It's good to hear. Good.
But no, it's a fun little game and worth a try if anyone's compiled it.
Cool. Well, to be honest, I think that's it for this week. I think it's a pretty quiet week. Anything else that we missed?
Yeah, and it's up in season 2.
Winter anime starts next week, I think.
That's true. Yeah, take a look and keep your eye out for new anime. I'm sure the various streaming sites will start dropping stuff.
Surprised they actually, as far as I can tell, they delayed Berserk. I mean, they announced it on their first trailer for Winter 2010, and then suddenly it's just gone. No date. We'll not say anything. Run. But if you've looked, and they've only given out 15-second trailers. 15 seconds.
Wow.
But
not much.
my God, they're beautiful. If it took like a whole year to do those 4 15-second trailers, it looks it. I mean, my God. Could be the Duke Nukem Forever of anime. Who knows? Which is now coming out. Hooray! But I don't know. It's
cool.
But I'm interested to see what happens with all of that. But I mean, Love Plus game advertising, whatever the hell that was. Not really surprised considering some of the Japanese media I've seen, including DJ Ozma's music videos. But another little thing which I'm quite happy about. In Japan, for the game Dance Evolution, made by the DDR guys, Haruhi's theme tune.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
I really want them to make that DLC over here because I'd love to dance to that.
Definitely.
It's on Connect, by the way, if anyone's asking. Yeah, so Fancy Sky, if you YouTube or if you just ANN, I think ANN took me to a link for it. Just try and look for Berserk trailers or something. Berserk 2010 or 11, whatever it is now. But I mean, I'm quite annoyed that there's currently no announcement on Akio Koiwa Hajime Mas for the anime. That's annoying. Because they're doing a second OVA, which is good. And, like I said last week, Darkview will agree with me. because he watched it apparently. You know, it was brilliant, and it's a shame that they're not doing anything with this. But it seems that the Tokyo Youth Ordinance Bill could actually hold this back a bit more. But